Last week in the State 3A playoffs, Kannapolis manhandled South Iredell 21-12. Meanwhile, the undefeated Lexington Yellow Jackets were teaching Concord what it takes to run the wishbone. The first thing you need is a good halfback with lots of speed that can get outside. And the Yellow Jackets certainly have that in number 22, Anthony Fuller, who had 159 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. The wishbone also takes a fullback that's big and strong and can bust him up the middle and reach out for that end zone. And the Yellow Jackets have that too. In number 24, Rodney Simmons, 173 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. If you key on those running backs a little bit too much, you need a quarterback who can do a little running on his own. And the Yellow Jackets have that too. Number 10, Chris Bennett, 146 yards, a touchdown on this play that you're watching now, and had just 8 carries. Overall for Jack Gaster's Yellow Jackets, 500 yards in total offense. All of it coming on the ground on the way to a 44-28 victory over Concord. But defense is a major reason the Wonders have only 1 loss this season. Led by Shrine Bowl pick Mike Morton and Trevon Patterson, the K-Town defense has helped them to an 8-game winning streak, and in only the loss to Statesville have they given up more than 20 points. But the Wonders can put some numbers on the scoreboard themselves. Averaging almost 30 points per game, they'll need big plays like this Carl Lipscomb touchdown against Concord if they want to have a shot at the number 4 ranked team in the state. What happens when 2 high school football powers collide? We'll find out next, right here on TV 13 in the round 2 of the State 3A playoffs. Kannapolis Memorial Stadium at A.L. Brown High School in Kannapolis, North Carolina. It's the TV 13 High School Football Playoff Game of the Week, sponsored in part by the Gerald Moore Insurance Agency, J. Wally Sandwich Shop, and Whitley's Funeral Home. This week, the Kannapolis Wonders play host to the Lexington Yellow Jackets. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Gould along with Chip Smith. And Chip, we got ourselves one heck of a ball game for the second week of the 3A playoffs.
Brian, this is going to be a great ball game. We got great weather, 2 great teams, big crowd. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Lexington, last week, we were at the game where they just beat up on Concord, ran all over them with that wishboard. Both teams, good offenses led by the quarterback.
Great quarterbacks tonight. The defenses are going to be the key to the game, I think. They're going to be real tough. They're going to work real hard. It's going to be a lot of fun, tight ball game, I think.
Well, the Kannapolis offense, of course, is led by Mo Blakeney, and I tell you, a lot of fear on the Lexington side about what Blakeney can do on the run. He's got a strong arm, and Jack Gaster, the coach of the Yellow Jackets, is worried that when he's on the run, that he can throw over his defensive backs.
Well, he's going to worry a lot of people tonight. I think he's going to be the key to the ball game for the Kannapolis Wonders.
Last week against Concord, we saw Lexington run all over them. They had 3 different running backs gain over 140 yards, including the quarterback, Chris Bennett.
Bennett's a great quarterback. He's very versatile, can do a lot of things, and he is, I think, the key to the offense tonight for the Lexington team.
Meanwhile, Kannapolis, they've got to be thinking that they got to play that wishbone top, otherwise they're going to get run over.
Absolutely. They're so evenly matched tonight. The defenses are tight. Both offenses can run, can pass, can blow it open at any moment. So we just don't know what to expect, but to watch a good football game.
In talking about the weather tonight in North Carolina, throughout the state, it's rather cold. It's pretty cold, but a good night for football. We'll be back with the opening kickoff and more fun stuff right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, now
the Wonders on the sideline getting ready for the big matchup tonight, round 2 of the State 3A playoffs, Chip, and I'll tell you, we're expecting a lot of offense in this game, and most of it, most of it's going to come on the ground.
Well, these 2 teams are running teams. Last week when we were looking at the Lexington team, they passed a couple times in the first half, probably not more than 2 times in the entire game, I think, Brian. They put a lot of yards on the ground, 3 backs over 100 yards. The Kannapolis team loves to run. They'll run and run and run, but they're a very versatile offense. They'll pass when they have to, and they pass when they want to oftentimes. They've got a quarterback that, frankly, scares Coach Jack Gaster, as we mentioned earlier, can pass 60 yards on the run. So we'll see a lot of yards put up on the board. Hopefully a lot of points put up on the board tonight, and a lot of yards put up in the stats.
Of course, last week for the Yellow Jackets, they scored 44 against Concord, but their highest total this year has been 76 points early in the season against Ledford. That on the far side of the field is, in fact, Lexington taking off their jackets. They'll be wearing the white jerseys as they are the visitors here tonight. And in the green jerseys, the home AL Brown squad, the Wonders, and there go some of the co-captains going out to the field. That's Chad Blackwell, the number 52, 73 is Joe Willis, along with Charles Gray. Gray, 5'10", 230 pounds. He's a good one.
I think you can say every athlete on the field tonight is a good athlete. Both of these programs have a tradition of good football. The Lexington team has been in the playoffs, as we said, for 6 straight years. Kannapolis has been out of the playoffs for a few years, but they're back in now. Coach Bruce Harden's got them into the second round. They're a great tradition here at Kannapolis, and they're looking forward to going as far as possible to the final game this year in the playoffs.
If it came down to something like special teams, that might be an area where Kannapolis has a little bit of advantage. Reggie Wells is one heck of a kick returner, averaging about 14 yards a punt return. And that's a big advantage for a squad in high school because the punts don't go that far.
Well, you're right. Punters in high school, unless they're exceptional athletes, don't punt more than 30 yards, don't get more than net 30. If you can get 14 yards in return, you're limiting yourself to losing 15 yards. Offense gets any drives at all going, exchange of punts will favor the team with the best return average. So special teams are really always important in a playoff game or big games, and tonight's no exception. They're going to be very important. Turnovers, lack of turnovers, big plays, and special teams tonight, I think, are going to be the keys, other than obviously the two defenses.
And the Wonders will receive the opening kickoff as they lose the toss, and there is the A.L. Brown offense for tonight. You see Allison, Morton, and Miller make up the receiving corps. Maurice Blakeney, he's the key to the offense. Number 11, he's a running and throwing threat. He is the quarterback. Carter, the fullback, one of the better ones. Lipscomb had a 76-yard run against Concord just a couple weeks ago. So he's a long running threat, and that could be a help to the A.L. Brown offense.
Interesting point, Brian. We've got 2 coaches in their first year at their respective schools. However, both these coaches have been in the playoffs before at other schools. The Lexington team itself, the players have been in the playoffs for several years in a row. This is the first time most of these Brown teams have been. I think any of these Brown players have been in the playoffs. So you've got 2 experienced coaches, and the teams themselves, a little disparity in playoff experience. However, the Brown Wonders are no stranger to the big game.
Bruce Harden, of course, coached West Charlotte last season right into the 4A finals, where his team lost to the eventual champions. It's all teed up, and doing the kicking is William Fulbright. He's not a bad kicker for Lexington. He'll usually kick it down to about the 10-yard line or so. He doesn't get a real good kickoff. It's bouncing around short. And it's picked up by Carl Lipscomb, and he's chased down at about the 18-yard line. And Kannapolis pinned inside the 20 off their opening kickoff. And we'll see what they can do on offense. There's the Lexington defense. Jason Cope, the nose guard, he's a good one. He's one of the key players there, number 40. Last week against Concord, he got a little bit fiery, got kicked out of the ball game. They managed to win the game anyway. One back set. Hand off to Carter, the fullback. The ball's loose. Lexington says they got it, but the officials are marking it down, and they'll take a second down after the pickup of about 2 yards on the play. Second down and 8.
It doesn't look like Brian got a real, Carter got a real good handle on the ball. He didn't really have it going into the line. He got bumped, and luckily for the Browns, fell on the ball, kept it, got a couple yards, going to second down.
One back set again. This time it's Lipscomb in at the one back set. 3 wide receivers spread out to the right side of the field or the far side of the field. Blakeney getting the pressure on. He throws the ball. It almost looked like he was throwing the ball away, but he had a receiver there, Daryl Allison. He overthrew him, and out of bounds it goes, brings up a third down. An excellent rush put on.
Well, Martin Medley for Lexington gave the Spiders last week a lot of problems. Broke 3. He wasn't blocked a couple times, and when he was blocked, he went around. Medley's a big kid. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. And we're going to see him here at the top of your screen coming across. Really just got bumped, and there he is all over Blakeney. Blakeney did a great job to get the ball off.
And on the third down play, 3rd down and 8, they go back to the I formation, which is more of a running formation. Blakeney fakes the draw play, and the rush is on again, and he's going to go down. Martin Medley breaks in again, this time from the right side, and downs him at about the 7-yard line.
Again, good defensive effort by Martin Medley. Medley seems to be playing strong side, kind of like a monster lineman, Brian. And he lines up left, lines up right. We'll have to keep an eye on him to figure out what his keys are, but you're going to see in the replay, he just comes across, makes a good move for a big man. Good speed to take Blakeney down for a loss.
It looks like they're going to have trouble blocking him with the running back, which is what happened there. Blakeney also does the punting as well, quarterback in the squad. Gets the ball up in the air, but not really long. Goes for a Kannapolis bounce. And he'll be down at about the 43-yard line. And taking over there will be Lexington for their first offensive set, and they have good field position.
Got great field position. I know Coach Gaster's really pleased to get the ball back at this point early in the game. And here we have the Lexington offense.
They're not going to pass much, so we'll take a look at the fullbacks. Rodney Simmons, over 1,000 yards rushing. Fuller and Houston, the halfbacks. And Chris Bennett, number 10, a senior, is the quarterback. And they start off with a handoff to the fullback, which is Rodney Simmons. And the ball pops loose. Kannapolis says they have it, and the officials say they have it. On the first play of the ball game, Jack Gaster said his team had to avoid the turnovers, and they give it up early.
Big play for the Browns right now, but we got a flag on the field, Brian. Looks like looking at the replay though, there the ball is loose, the scramble for it. Brown players are really going after the football. They came up with it, but let's see what the flag's all about.
Unsportsmanlike conduct call against Kannapolis. And I believe it was a late call, so it might be a first down at 25, depending on when they call it. If it would still happen in the pile-up, it would be, in fact, just first down at 10 from wherever when they move the ball, but they already set the first down marker. And, in fact, that is what the call is. It was a late call, probably near the sideline, because that's where the flag was. It's going to be a first down at 25 for Kannapolis, and that's a blow after the big turnover.
Well, that's a blow, but Brian, they've got the ball back. Instead of being on defense at the 43, they're on offense at the 22.
Lipscomb, the only running back, gets a head off a big hole, gets across the 25, out to the 30, finally gets tripped up and gets out to about the 36-yard line. Tack on the play by Rick Terry for Lexington. We're going to take another look at it. A pickup of 12 yards on the play.
Good blocking by the Browns that time, and here's the replay. Real quick pitch back to Lipscomb, couple of overruns right there. He darts through, good move. Here he breaks it. Last man, not really last man, could have been last man. Good downfield blocking though to pick up. Looks like pickup about what, Brian? 10, 11 yards here?
12 yards on the play.
12 yards.
Second down and 13. That almost eats away the 15-yard dead ball foul that they took. To the fullback, Carter. Carter gets across the 40. Gets knocked down by Rick Terry once again. Terry had a couple straight tackles. Third down and 9. And Kannapolis is forced to do something again and pass. And so far, they've let somebody into the backfield both times they've tried to pass.
Well, they're not having a whole lot of success right now. And it's really one person they're having a problem with, Martin Medley. And as you said earlier, they're going to have a lot of trouble blocking Martin Medley, 200 pounds, with one of their backs in the backfield. Carter is a good running back, but he's only 189 pounds, and Liston's not very big either.
Good news for Kannapolis as Medley splits wide out to left to cover one of the receivers, but they still get a rush on Blakeney, and he throws the ball, has a receiver, and it's caught. Daryl Allison, a penalty marker, is down at about the 45-yard line of Kannapolis, but an excellent catch and an excellent throw on the run for Kannapolis.
Well, that's the most dangerous part of the play right there for the Lexington team, and that's put Maurice Blakeney on the run. Penalty, we find out, is going to be on Lexington, so that's just going to give him some more yardage after a great pass.
Actually, they waved off the flag altogether. It was dropped by mistake. So a big gain for Kannapolis as they get inside Lexington territory.
And here we see Blakeney running, very dangerous, pulls it down. Great catch. Can't say too much about the catch by Allison that time. It was going down, brought it up off the ground, but it was a clean catch.
Split backfield this time. And off to for Lipscomb. Trying to get around the end. He has the speed. He gets there, across the 30, and out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Brought down eventually by Alan DeJournay, and another first down for the Kannapolis Wonders.
And DeJournay saved the touchdown that time. He struggled to play out. He was getting good downfield blocking by Allison. Allison stayed on him as long as he could, but after a while, DeJournay turned on him, didn't want to have a clip, and kept him going out of bounds. Ran him out on the 27-yard line.
High formation. Hand off to the fullback, Carter. Carter stays on his feet for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. A lot of tough running inside. Brian Ripple makes a tackle for Lexington. Second down and about 6 to go.
Tried a little misdirection there, Brian. They had a count with the quarterback and they call it a whirly bird by Lipscomb, where he just turns around in the circle to freeze the linebackers, and then you bust Carter up the center and gets 4 yards.
Blakeney quarterbacking, 5'10", 165. He's a junior, still has 1 more year to play here at Kannapolis. Quick pitch to Lipscomb on the right side. Lipscomb is showing excellent speed tonight. He was able to get out there rather quickly, gets out close to the first down marker. Then he guesses on this one.
Well, Lexington's got a quick defense. They're very aggressive. And I think right now Bruce Harden from Kannapolis is trying to get those guys to over-pursue and break things up the middle. That time, number 71 for Lexington, Shrine Bowl pick. Ivan Davis broke through, but he was wide open, and the play was designed to let him go outside and open up the hole, get yardage, and that's what it did.
And they do get the first down on the play. Hand off to Carter. Carter picks up a couple tough yards on the inside. Rick Terry makes a tackle, and it brings up a second down at about 7. But they're inside the 15-yard line. Again, turnovers, as we saw last week with the Kannapolis-Lexington game. Lexington fumbled the ball 3 times, and each time, Concord came back with a touchdown.
And Lexington can't afford to do that tonight because Brown, I think, will take just as much advantage as the Spiders did.
Spin move on the outside. Carter had himself a touchdown, or at least inside the 5-yard line, but he lost his footing. The field is not as good as it was last week at Lexington. There are some slippery spots, especially at that end of the field. And Fred Carter found himself one.
Good hole there, Brian. Burst through there. Really, if he had not slipped down, he was in the end zone. But as you said, the field is a little bit hard. It's had a lot of hard play this year. Varsity and junior varsity play on this field. This late in the season, they probably had 12 games played out here, plus some practices. So that really caused them a problem down there.
Taking the measurement, and it is in fact a first down for A.L. Brown. A good-sized crowd here tonight. Good-sized crowd. There are a lot of people on the hill. We're all familiar with the layout here at Kannapolis High School. There's some of the Happy Wonders fans, at least happy with what they've seen so far. First down at the 7-yard line. Straight 5-man front. And Blakeney, who tries to keep it himself, goes outside, and he's not going to get there. Percy Banks makes the stop, grabs him around the shoulder pads, and whips him out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. And it's going to bring up a second down and goal from the 13.
Good play called here by the Wonders. They fake the isolation, a fullback dive and spin, and bring Blakeney around the end here on the corner. And here you'll see it. Blakeney takes it, fakes a handoff, 2 bites there, and then he takes off around the outside. But just a great play that time by number 21 for Lexington, Percy Banks, to keep him from turning that corner. Once Blakeney turns the corner, he can motor.
Officials stopping the clock. There is 5:46 to go. It's an official's timeout. Now everything seems to be set in the Lexington secondary. 5:46 to go in the ball game, or excuse me, in the first quarter of the ball game. There is no score. Kannapolis takes a look at what the Lexington defense looks like, and Mo Blakeney thinks the better of it and calls the timeout. TV 13 wants to thank J. Wally Sandwich Shop as proud sponsor of this week's playoff game. Open at 5 a.m. every morning. J. Wally's is just waiting for you with hearty breakfast, mouth-watering burgers, and of course, J. Wally's world-renowned fresh donuts. Something good is always cooking at J. Wally's. 1870 South Main Street here in beautiful Kannapolis.
Brian, what we're seeing right now is the Kannapolis Wonders just taking the ball down the field. They hurt themselves with a 15-yard penalty to begin the drive. didn't slow them down. They came back, got a first down, and they've been marching ever since. They've got a second down now on the 13-yard line. They've not been really hurt. They've gone inside for yards. They've gone outside for yards. They've not had to put the ball in the air, except that one time great catch by Allison. So I think they are really having a good offensive game right now. Maybe so that Lexington's a little bit stunned. They may not know what to expect.
Of course, they've only run one offensive play so far, and a lot of what they like to do is just run the ball and control the clock, try to keep their defense off the field. But with the turnover on their first play from scrimmage, they've only had the play for what? One play in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Blakeney's dropping straight back to pass. The rush is on again, and he gets outside. He still has a chance to pass. He has a receiver. Touchdown, Kannapolis! Scott Beaver. Oh, excuse me. Mike Morton, the tight end. Morton gets out into the flat, and I tell you, that's what a scrambling quarterback does, because he got outside one defender, and he ran towards the end zone, and that's when the defender left the tight end wide open in the end zone.
Jack Gaster told us before the game that his defense was designed to play the run when the pass patterns broke down, but in Kannapolis' case, when the pass patterns they don't break down, the receivers just keep running.
Going for the two-point conversion on the bad snap. It's incomplete. The throw is right in the hands of Michael Barnes, but he got clobbered. So after the extra point has failed, the score is Kannapolis 6 and Lexington nothing midway through the first quarter of play. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Here we got Blakeney scrambles. There it looks like he's going to fake it, pulls it down, runs again, and you see the linebackers coming up, the corners coming up, wide open in the end zone. Very dangerous. It's going to be tough to contain Blakeney tonight.
10 plays, 76 yards so far for Kannapolis. 4 minutes and 37 seconds. We'll be back with more in just a moment. So Mo Blakeney with the pass to Morton gives him the lead on a 13-yard touchdown. 6-0 Kannapolis leads. Bruce Harden has to be happy with what he sees there, wearing his little cap on the sideline. What you call a toboggan, Chip, and I call a toque, because I come from up north where the Canadians call it a toque.
A toque?
A toque.
Is that short for something or just a toque?
It's a toque.
A toque, okay. Thank you.
Anthony Fuller, coming off a big game last week, gets the kickoff. Going all the way across the field, runs a lot side to side, but eventually gets driven out of bounds. Scott Beaver makes a stop, and it's going to be a first down and 10 there at the 32-yard line. Again, reasonably good field position for Lexington. The first series after a punt, and there is the A.L. Brown defense. The key men to watch are number 82, Mike Morton, scored the touchdown, selected for the North Carolina squad for the Shrine Bowl, along with number 76, Trevon Patterson. He is a big one on the line of scrimmage, 6 foot, 220 pounds, and he plays a strong game. There's the wishbone formation that we'll see all night from Lexington. Hand off to the fullback again, Simmons. And Simmons just powers his ways for about 3 yards.
Nothing fancy, straight ahead. Wishbone set up with fullback dive. I think right now what Lexington wants to do is just get themselves a little bit of a momentum and get a control here and get the rhythm going. They had one playing out and they got scored on, and Coach Gaster from Lexington wants to get his offense into the game and hold the ball and get his defense a rest.
Going outside, pitch to Fuller. Across the 40. Across the 40, and he's down. A nice touchdown-saving tackle. And he had a chance to go all the way, but Gary Elder was able to get him around the shoulder pads and bring him down at about the 37-yard line.
Right, there's the speed of the Lexington Yellow Jackets. They run that veer, and here's the replay. They run that veer perfectly. There he is, fullback dive, pitch at just the right moment. Good block downfield, and he's off. And just really a saving tackle there by Gary Elder kept him out of the end zone.
37-yard line. Bennett keeps it himself. Saw nothing developing on the outside. Kannapolis having excellent pursuit that time. Finally brought down by Tony Jones, 6'1", 213-pound sophomore for the Wonders. Pickup of about 2 yards on the play.
Well, one of the things about quarterback for Lexington Bennett is that when they run the veer, when they're going to run that veer outside, he has a choice. He can do what he'd like to do, but when they run the option, he pretty much knows right up front whether he's going to keep it or pitch it. So far, it's been a predetermined offensive play.
Official calls times out as one of the Kannapolis players has to tie his shoe. Last week, Lexington did not get out of the wishbone, but for 1 or 2 plays the entire evening. And off to their second halfback, Antonio Houston. a sophomore at 5'8", 170. Has a tendency to fumble. Last week, at least, he did. He only carried the ball about 6 times and fumbled twice. Picks up about 5 yards on the play, 3rd down and 3.
The speed of Lexington right now is taking over their offense. They're running outside very easily, and Brown's going to have to tighten up on the corners.
Hand off to the fullback. Simmons running into a wall and does not get anywhere. He's going to be short of the 1st down. A big defensive play by Trevon Patterson. I tell you, when it comes time, he's going to be the one on the inside of the line that's going to do the job for Kannapolis. He does it there. And it's going to be a 4th down and about 1.5 yards to go, and they're going for it. No question about it. They're just inside the Kannapolis 30-yard line.
Lexington making a statement here. We'll show you guys we can run the football.
Just turns it inside, even though he gets hit and drops quickly. He does get across the 1st down marker. A good tackle by Greg Jones, but he wasn't able to straighten him up and keep him in the backfield.
Looks like he made a quick decision at that time. Bennett saw a little opening, knew he didn't need but a couple yards, and just stuck it in there, and knew even if they get tripped up, I'm going to get me a couple yards to make a 1st down here to keep the drive going.
Eric Morris, split in for the line.
Quick hand off to the fullback again. It looked like he had trouble handling onto the ball. Gets a couple yards anyway. Again, Patterson is on the tackle. It's going to be a 2nd down and about 8.
Kannapolis plays pretty much a straight 52 defense, and their linebackers stay about 4 yards off the ball and read, and they're going to be real busy tonight trying to read this wing push mode from Lexington.
They give it to Antonio Houston, and he gets nowhere. It's going to be a 3rd down play. Jordan, the nose tackle, on the tackle. Trips him up there. It's going to be a 2nd down and about 7.
We're looking at a lot of size for the Wonders right now. Trevon Patterson leading the way, 76. He's 220. Chad Blackweller and Antoine Germain, Tony Jones, Greg Jones. Those guys are big. If they can hold their own against this team tonight, they're playing well.
Derek Barnes, the only wide receiver, splits out to the right side, and they're going for Barnes. Throws it up, and it's going to be out of bounds, incomplete. Tim Atwell, the only man near it for Kannapolis. In fact, Atwell's got one hand on it, but that ball was thrown way over where it should have been.
Well, I think he was just trying to get rid of it. We're going to look at it on the replay and find out exactly, maybe find out what he's trying to do. But here he takes the snap, and no, here's the timing play. He just put it up to the corner of the end zone and hoped one of his people would be there and overthrew.
Barnes, the junior receiver, not able to catch up with that one. And it's 4th down. A long way to go. Well, it's not really a gamble. And they throw the pass over to the tight end, and it's knocked away. Good defense by number 80, Reggie Wells. The pass is going to the tight end, number 88, Jim Bingham for Lexington. It was thrown a little bit high. Bingham had a shot at it, but he was hit as the ball came in. And it's going to be Kannapolis' ball after the loss of downs.
Well, Brian, the reason I said gamble, I was watching it. Here's the replay. Back there, got his hand on it. Could have been intercepted going up like that, but the reason I said it was a gamble, I was watching the Lexington team kick field goals before the game started. I think their kicker may have had a chance from that point of the field.
William Fulbright's a good kicker, but I think when you're talking about 43 yards, you're a little bit out of his range. Blakeney trying to use the speed to get outside, and he's not going to get there. Finally gets tackled out of bounds. The home crowd a little bit concerned about that, hoping to get a flag, but they don't get the call. Knocking him out of bounds was number 54, Brian Ripple. A loss, so well, make that a pickup of about 1 yard on the play at the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 9.
And Brian, that's why everybody's so scared of Maurice Blakeney. He runs around the corner there, gets chased down. We both thought he lost yards, and here he goes making a yard.
Well, the quickness of Percy Banks on a couple of plays for Lexington. He's been the guy that's been running Blakeney down and is trying to skid outside to the left side. On a counter play to Lipscomb, and he gets out to about the 30-yard line. Tackle once again by Ripple, along with Rick Terry. And it'll be 3rd down and a long 4 or short 5, depending on how you look at it. Just a minute to go in the first quarter. It's Kannapolis leading Lexington by a score of 6-0. Just one running running back. Lipscomb in the one-back set. Gets the handoff, has a big hole across the 40, across the 45. And once again, the speed of Percy Banks runs somebody down for Lexington's defense. And Lipscomb finally goes out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Well, we just had some great offensive line blocking, one-on-one blocking up front, Brian. Here's the replay. Here he comes out, and look at the block right there on the defensive end. Lipscomb, that's all he needs to turn it outside. He's heading upfield.
Lipscomb already was 6 carries for 70 yards, having a good night for the Wonders. And off to his fullback Carter. And Carter isn't going to get much at all, maybe a yard or two. Finally gets tackled by Josh Harris. It's going to be a second down at about 9.
The Wonders really doing good blocking up front, Brian. They're strong and they're basic and they're well disciplined. They're holding their blocks, and the quickness of Lexington could be a problem, but they're holding that quickness off. Just good solid blocking.
And that is, in fact, the end of one quarter of play. The Kannapolis Wonders crowd happy about the score because their team leads Lexington by a score 6-0. That is the Kannapolis band in the stands. I understand they've been state champions several times in the past few years.
Kannapolis band has got a tradition just like the football team does, Brian. Cabarrus County's got good bands on all their high schools. I know Central Cabarrus has won some awards. Kannapolis is proud of their band. We saw a great band last week from Concord Spiders. We've not had the pleasure and opportunity to see Northwest play this year, but I've been real impressed with the bands out here and the pride they have in themselves, their uniforms, their routines. Good football, good bands. That's what fall is about right now.
And it is a little nippy out there tonight. That makes you one glad to be in the press box tonight. Hand off to the tailback. We have a new tailback in the game. It's Michael Barnes. And Barnes plows out across the 30-yard line. And it looks like he's going to be real close to the first down. I believe he has it. Brian Metcalf makes the tackle for Lexington.
Right now, the offensive line for the Wonders is really nullifying the defensive line for Lexington and making the linebackers do all the work. And when you let someone have a head of speed like Barnes had that time, he was getting pretty good head of speed up when he got that linebacker and knocked him back 2 or 3 yards. So good yardage, good gains that way, and a good offensive scheme right now from Brown.
Barnes only a sophomore, a good run on that play. Well, one running back set, and it's the ever dangerous Carl Lipscomb, who's been having a field day so far. Blakeney going back to pass, and for the first time he has time. He had a receiver open, and he just overshot him. It was going for Darrell Allison, who had curled inside the zone defense and was open, but the throw was overthrown.
Blakeney, I think, will look at the replay, just drop back, 7-step drop, look and throw. Powerful arm, and got a little bit too much. He underthrew and threw it a little hard. I think he throws better on the run than he does stationary.
Lexington only had 3 rushers that time, and a lot of guys dropped in the zone. You know, surprising that they got a receiver that much open in that kind of defense. And Barnes gets the pitch back again. He's across the 20, inside the 15, and Kannapolis has itself another first down deep in Lexington territory. Sean Henderson, number 5, with the tackle.
Good job that time by Charles Gray from Brown, number 7. He picked up on the block, knocked outside, opened up a big hole. We'll see it on the replay right here. Coming down, got a pull. There's the block by Brown, springs him outside. Good gain that time by by Barnes.
Just into the second quarter of play, Kannapolis already leads in the game 6-0, and they're threatening to put more points on the board again. Hand off to the fullback Carter. Carter still on his feet, gets down to about the 11-yard line. Pickup of about 3 yards on the play. Second down and 7. A lot of tough yards for Carter.
He's making a lot of it himself, Brian, but a lot of it's coming because of blocking up front. They are not being touched until they get to the line of scrimmage. Now, that might sound odd to say, but if you've got a quick defense, they're going to get in the backfield and disrupt some things in the offensive backfield. But the Brown offensive line right now controlling the ball game.
Lipscomb, the only back in the one-back set, gets the handoff, gets down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down by a good couple of yards. Jason Cope on the tackle, number 40.
They can get a first down, it looks like, on about the 3.5 to 4 yard line, and they're sitting right now on the 7, so 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 coming up. This is a big play in the drive.
Allison splits out to the right side, Miller to the left, the two wideouts. But the pitch back is to Barnes. He doesn't get inside the 5, so he's not going to get close to the first down, and they have a decision to make. Brian Ripple makes the tackle. It's 4th down and 1 from about the 5-yard line. If you're Bruce Harden, what do you do, Chip?
Brian, we're moving the ball, and I'm pretty comfortable with my offense right now. I'm up by 6 points, and it's early in the game. I think that unless I want to kill the momentum, I'm going to go for it.
But Matt Johnson, number 10, coming in to kick the ball for Kannapolis.
Well, I'm not Bruce Harden, evidently, but Bruce has been there before, Brian. He knows what he wants to do and what it takes to win this game.
Johnson, just a sophomore, doing the kicking. It's a 24-yard attempt. The ball is up, and it is good. It's now 9-0. The Wonders leading the Yellow Jackets here in Kannapolis. The thing that Bruce Harden's team has done so far, it's kept the powerful Lexington offense off the field. So far, they've had 2 drives for Lexington. One ended in a fumble after the first play, and the second one ended on a loss of downs after they gained a lot of yardage, but they didn't get into the end zone.
Well, we talked about a battle of the offenses right now, but I think right now what it's coming down to is a battle of the Brown offense. The Lexington offense has misfired a couple times. They have good athletes. They're going to do some big things tonight if they can get on track, but they're just having a lot of trouble getting themselves in a rhythm and getting something going and sustaining a drive, getting any yardage at all right now.
Johnson, who just kicked the field goal, doing the kicking chores. It's coming down short. Percy Banks gets it. He's been a speed demon on defense. There is going to be a legal block, so whatever he does here is just going to come back anyway. Gets across the 30-yard line. But running across the field and actually losing some yardage there like he did, that's danger territory for a clip.
Well, you're almost always going to see a clip in that situation. Banks should have just taken it up the field and gotten yardage. He ended up, without the clip, he would have gained maybe 5 yards. With the clip, he's going to lose 20 from where he just caught the ball.
So it's going to be half the distance from the 20-yard line, pushes them back inside the home 10-yard line, or right out the 10-yard line anyway. They have 90 yards to go to the end zone, and they're already trailing in the game 9-0.
Well, now let's not count them out too early, Brian. They've got an explosive offense, and we've seen already tonight a couple of runs they've broken big, and just been good individual effort by the Browns to stop touchdowns. So if they ever get something going here, they're definitely going to be a threat.
And off to the fullback, Simmons. Simmons doesn't get a whole lot. Antoine Jordan, number 67, makes the stop. So it's going to be 2nd down and 7.
Basic plays that time. Lexington just wants to get out of the shadow of the goalpost here, get it out to 20, 25-yard lines so they can open up their offense a little bit. But with good ball handling, that's the problem Coach Gatcher's got right now. He's got to make sure he holds on to the ball. If he can get some good ball handling, he'll be able to do a lot of things tonight with his offense.
Hand off to the fullback, Simmons again. And again, Jordan makes a stop.
Straight ahead, nothing fancy. They just want to get something going. Simple handoffs, nothing that can cause any problems unless they have something totally unnatural, abnormal, as missing a snap or a bad handoff. These are automatic. These are things that they do every day, 20, 30 times a day. They just want to get the first down here and get something started.
Hand off to the second back through this time, which is Fuller. And Fuller gets up to about the 20-yard line. And he gets across the 20-yard line, and that's where he needed to go for the first down. They're going to mark it at about the 21-yard line. Tackle on the play that time by Edward Walker, number 45, 5'9", 226 senior. And they do do give him the first down. And I think that if you look at it, the way it's going, Jack Astor would be pretty happy if he got the 6 points on the board with no time left in the clock. He has about 8 minutes to go in halftime.
Brian, if they can come back and put 6, 7 points up this half, and they go in at halftime down by 2 or 3 points, it's a tight ball game. There's a lot of things that will happen. I'm sure Coach Gaster's hoping for that right now.
Hand off to the second back through again. There's a penalty marker down. It was Anthony Fuller. We'll have to wait and see what that penalty was. Again, Edward Walker comes in on the tackle, coming up from the secondary position for Kannapolis. Having a legal procedure call on Lexington. So they hurt their own cause once again with another penalty. That's something that hurt them last week against Concord.
Well, Concord played a good ball game. They lost 28-44 to Lexington, but Lexington hurt themselves badly. Gave up a couple of touchdowns. Really, they kept drives going with penalties, and which led to Spider touchdowns. And tonight, this Brown team is equally as good as the Spiders. This is the second round of the playoff. It means a lot more, and they're going to have to really cut down on this because it'll kill them tonight.
First down and 15 for Lexington. Bennett keeps it himself, gets turned in, and he's going to go down. A lot of different Lexington players are making that Kannapolis players around him, including Mike Morton. Morton along with Trevon Patterson once again making the stop, and those two are going to do a bulk of the work tonight.
Well, Mike Morton, as we said, is a Shrine Bowl pick. He's got 137 tackles this year. He's the Harris County Defensive Player of the Year and the stalwart of the defense, and he's going to pull his weight tonight. He's going to keep him going. And here we go on the replay. Blakey just takes it. Couldn't get anything covered up by Kannapolis.
Key on that play was Edward Walker coming up and turning the play inside, because that's where the pursuit caught up with him. If you're going to turn something inside, I can bet your bottom dollar that Morton's going to be there to make the stop. Hand off inside again to Simmons, and he gets across the 20-yard line out to about the 22 and a half. And it's going to be a third down play.
Really right now what Brown's doing is they're clogging up the running lanes and they're taking the flow as it goes from side to side. They're letting their linebackers roam a little bit. They're keying on the backs and clogging up a lot of area there, not letting the back get a good lane, not getting any creases in there. And unless these backs select to get a little crease, a little room to run, they're not going to have a lot of success tonight.
Third down and 9. They're going to their one wide out, and they catch him. They caught by Barnes, number 80, and it's just enough for the first down. Coverage provided by linebacker Chad Blackwelder, number 52. First down for Lexington. That's a second third down conversion on this drive for Lexington.
Little gadget play here. Takes the ball to the side, but he comes on a throwback and a really underthrown. Good catch that time by Lexington, but he got him the first down.
Threw it right between the linebacker and the defensive back, Tim Adwell. Just found the seam in the zone defense. They come out of the wishbone and run with only 2 running backs. And Bennett keeps it going outside. Gets spin around and down he goes. A good defensive play by Chad Blackwelder, number 52, 5'9", 181 senior. Comes from his defensive end position and just grabs around the shoulder blades. And it's going to be second down and 9.
Had the wishbone going that time, looking outside. And Bennett really had the option to do anything he wanted to. He thought he had an opening and turned it inside. Got a hold of his jersey, and Blackwelder pulled him down from behind.
Going to his tight end. It's tipped and it's caught. Jim Bingham makes the catch. He gets across midfield. Tackle made by Gary Elder, number 20. And it's another first down for Lexington.
Brian, that's the same thing we saw on the previous third down, but to the other side. They got the... Here we go, looking at the replay. Dropping back, and they just put him in there in the crease, wide open. This time he was a good pass. He was up, caught him above his shoulders, get down to about the 48-yard line. That might be a problem for Kannapolis tonight.
Did you notice who tipped that pass on the inside? Edward Walker. He's been very active on defense for Kannapolis so far. Number 45, Walker playing a strong game. And Bennett has to scramble around, trying to get outside. He's going to be hemmed in. Finally brought down by Blackwelder. At about the 45-yard line, loss of about 6 yards on the play. That play just didn't work.
We're looking at a highlight film right now for Kannapolis. Got Blackwelder and got Morton going. Everybody's playing real well and showing up and doing their job and getting in big plays.
There was a penalty marker there.
And we got the replay again here. Good defensive pursuit. 5 Brown Wonders around the ball. Big play that time for Kannapolis. Could be a drive stopping play.
Ooh, after the big defense. defensive play. They have the penalty that hurts and hurts them a lot. Get the face mask call. He didn't get him around the shoulder. He got him on the face mask. That puts him up to about the 40-yard line. That creates a first down and 1 situation from there.
Bad time for a penalty like that. After you get a big defensive play, you get the defense pumped up, and they're really fired up, ready to go again. The defense just takes it all away, deflates them a little bit, gives Lexington a better field position on the 40-yard line.
Bennett looking for a receiver. He's throwing it to Houston, and it's incomplete. Houston got open behind the defensive backs, but he didn't get his hands on the ball. Gary Elder gives him a little pop for good measure after he drops the ball.
Good pass by Bennett. Good deep pass by Bennett, but he really threw it over the wrong shoulder that time.
Let's take another look at it. I think you'll see on the replay.
Here he comes, drop back, on the run, and there he just quick, but well, not really over the wrong shoulder, just a little bit behind him. He had to twist a little bit and didn't get it over into his hands like he could have, but it was still a catchable ball.
Pitch back to Fuller. Fuller gets turned in and down he goes. Got turned in by Blackwelder and he gets popped. It was Reggie Wells who made the hit on him and brought him down, but a good play by Blackwelder to turn that play inside.
Well, Fuller did a good job just to catch the ball. The pitch was really too far for him to get hold of easily, and he was looking, and watch the replay here, Brian. Takes the ball, and here's the pitch, way out, catches it in one hand. He's then looking at the ball. He's not looking upfield to see where he's going to make his cut, and as a result, can't make anything, gets tackled.
Fuller trying to get some yardage up the middle. Only a 3rd down and 2 play, and I think he got about 3, so he picks up the first down. Tackle on the play by number 76, Trevon Patterson again. It's a first down for Lexington, and they keep their drive alive once again on a 3rd down. That's a third down in this drive alone. They've converted to keep the drive alive, and they're only at Kannapolis 37-yard line. Doesn't look like the Yellow Jackets will run up 500 yards total offense in this game like they did last week. And a play is up the middle. At 65, Tony Jones just stood up, grabbed somebody, and put him down on the turf. It was Rodney Simmons, the fullback, who got absolutely nothing on that play. 2nd down and 10.
Jones made a good tackle that time, fought off the block, stood the ball carrier up, took him back for about a half-a-yard gain.
Simmons having a tough time going up the middle today. 19 carries, I make that 7 carries and 19 yards. Not a good night for him so far. Anthony Fuller trying to go outside. A lot of pursuit for Kannapolis. I tell you, their defense is pursuing them all over the field and doing one heck of a good job. Tony Jones, number 65, 6'1", 213 sophomore on the tackle.
I think Chad Blackwater got hold of the jersey that time again, Brian. He's beginning to be a specialist in grabbing the jersey. Any way you can bring them down tonight. Only thing that counts is what's on the board when the gun goes off. Defense really looking good for Brown, though, Brian.
It is a 3rd down situation again for Lexington, and remember, they've been making them in this series. 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go before halftime. And now the pitch to Fuller. He's looking to pass. He is throwing it deep. The coverage is there, tipped up and knocked away. Good defense by Tim Adwell. They're going way deep. To number 82, Chris Pompey, the wide receiver, and the coverage was good all the way. He didn't bite for it at 1 instant.
And it was a well-thrown pass. It was right on the money, just a great defensive play. There it is. Good defensive play by Atwell to get the ball up and out of the range to be caught, which brings up a 4th down.
4th down and 8. Percy Banks again making the stop for Lexington. And it wasn't for Percy Banks. There is a clipping call, and they're going to call that one back for Kannapolis.
This is going to be interesting to look at, Brian. It was a good double-team down block on the tight end. Here it comes, and there's the block. And the problem right there was the defensive end turned in. He was being blocked. The double-team block came down on him just as he turned his back, and he was clipped. Really didn't need to have that. He could have gone downfield. Lineman could have gone downfield looking for somebody else. Penalties are going to hurt tonight.
A big penalty. Instead of being deep in Lexington territory, well inside Lexington territory, they're backed up to their own 20 and have a 1st down and about 25 yards to go. Pitch back to Barnes. Barnes gets some running room, but not enough. The ball's loose, and I believe that Kannapolis keeps it, and will retain the ball at about the 30-yard line. They'll pick up a total of about 8 yards on the play. It is second down, as the officials call it, but that ball was scary for the Kannapolis Wonder fans. That ball was on the turf.
Yeah, they don't want to give it up right now. They need to keep control of this ball. A minute 25, the clock's running. They want to run the clock out right now before the half and go in with a 9-point lead.
Second down, 17. I formation for Kannapolis. Hand off inside. Fred Carter across the 40 gets the first down. And again on the tackle was 21 Percy Banks. A first down for Kannapolis at their own 47-yard line. The clock stops while they move the chains, but it will resume in just a moment.
Looking at the replay, counterplay right here, freezes. No, the linebacker comes up, well blocked. Just got into the secondary, and the corners were frozen. They took him a while to get to acclimate themselves exactly what the play was.
Clock running, less than 50 seconds to go before halftime. Blakeney going back to pass, going for Allison or Miller. Miller is there, and he doesn't catch it. Miller gives him a little extra push to the defender, who was number 26, Norris Elam.
Elam almost had an interception that time, Brian.
It's going to be second down at 10, 38 seconds to go. Let's take another look at it. In a lot of ways, it was kind of like a Big Ben pass, because there's two receivers both in the area, and either one of them could have the shot at the ball if it was thrown in the right place.
Blakeney just wound up and threw it. There you see almost an interception. The offense turned the defense that time to prevent that interception.
It's Wells splitting out to the right side. Darrell Allison splitting out to the left side. I formation. Blakeney going back to pass, runs out towards the right side, tries to turn it up, gets across the 50, stays in bounds, and goes across the 40 to about the 39-yard line, and immediately Kannapolis does the smart thing and calls timeout. Not a bad play for him to turn in bounds that time, because they have the timeouts left.
Absolutely. He didn't know what to do, so you turn it inside to keep the clock running. If Coach wants you to do that, he's got enough of a drive going now that he's going to look for some points, and we've seen they can kick a field goal, get 3 more. They don't need but about 20 more yards to get down into field goal range.
TV 13 would like to recognize Whitley's Funeral Home as a proud sponsor of this week's game. They've been serving our community since 1913. TV 13 is pleased to welcome them to our cablecast. Whitley's Funeral Home wants to wish our home team good luck.
I think the Wonders just kind of wanted to run the clock out early, but they've had some success on the ground, put it up at the 40-yard line and the Lexington 40-yard line, so now they're looking for points, Brian.
While we got a moment, I want to thank the Kannapolis concession staff, who has been very kind to our crew tonight. They served them pizza and pop before the game, and they just sent up a couple of pizzas up to the press box. You'll have to wait a second for those, Danny. Wait till halftime, all right? Danny, our floor director, doing a heck of a job as per usual. They go 3 wideouts to the far side of the field with 1 running back. Blakeney turns it inside. He puts the ball on the turf. It's loose, and I believe Lexington gets it. Blakeney never turned that ball, and it's going to be second down. Kannapolis did come up with it. And Kannapolis, meantime, calls timeout with just 11 seconds left. And Blakeney comes up from that pile, limping, making the recovery and saving the ball for A.L. Brown was number 73, Joe Willis.
Dangerous play that time by Blakeney. He got it strung out, really didn't know what to do. And as we've seen several quarterbacks, and looking on the replay, Brian, Blakeney takes the ball and sprints out. Now he's going to run, and holding the ball very dangerously in one hand, and the defender grabbed his hand. Kannapolis is really lucky to get that ball back. It was up for grabs.
Oh, yeah, that ball was just put out there waiting for somebody to tip it away. That's where you've got to tuck the ball away. Because once you cross the line of scrimmage, you can't pass the ball anyway. You can try to fake somebody out like you're going to throw the ball. And that works sometimes on some defenders, that you go with your arm that you're going to throw, and they'll go leaping in the air. And once he's in the air, he's not going to tackle you.
But we've seen a lot of quarterbacks this year that like to run the ball. We've seen Concord, the quarterback here for Lexington, Bennett. A lot of quarterbacks, when they decide to run the ball, they don't tuck it away. They keep it out in front of them, which is really not good fundamentally.
So despite the fact that he's limping around, Blakeney stays in the ball game. It's Kannapolis leading 9-0. Lexington's offense has been shut out so far in the ball game. That's a surprise, although they have had some success moving the ball.
Well, they kind of shut themselves out, Brian. They've had a lot of penalties and hurt themselves badly.
Just two receivers to the right side. Going across the middle, looking for the tight end. It's almost intercepted. Trying to hit Mike Morton, but coming across was Sean Henderson, a senior for Lexington. Got his hands on the ball, but wasn't able to hold on. It's a 3rd down and 9, but that's no longer important because it's 5 seconds left on the clock.
And here's the replay. Blakeney drops back and has a man in his face, but gets it off anyway. Could have been intercepted right there.
Still didn't get the ball quite out as far as he wanted it to Morton. But anyway, even if it was that far, Henderson would have been there on the play anyway. He was in perfect position for that play.
But it was his back foot that he came up limping on the play previously. He might not have gotten set well.
3 wide receivers out to the right side, and they're all streaking downfield. Blakeney putting the ball up for grabs. Allison catches him at the goal line. No touchdown. They mark it down on the 1-inch line. That is not a touchdown. Darrell Allison on the final play of the first half catches a 39-yard pass all the way down to the 1-yard line. Oh my, Kannapolis not happy by the fact that is the end of the first half of play. And the Kannapolis fans also not happy with the fact that is the end of the first half of play. When that ball was thrown up there like that, that's it. We'll have to take another. Boy. Yeah, that's good. Let's take another look at the replay. You see the wide receivers all out to the right side. This is as close to coming to a Hail Mary touchdown as you want to be.
And that was as far as Blakeney could throw it. He put it up in the air and he just came up a yard short.
That was close. At the end of the first half of play, it is Kannapolis, the Wonders, leading Lexington in a mild upset so far by a score of 9-0. We'll be back with the halftime activities and more right after this. Last play of the first half. Mo Blakeney back to pass. Puts the ball up for grabs. Darrell Allison comes up with it. The officials rule he was down on the 1-yard line. What do you think, Chip?
I think he was in there, Brian. I don't think that's going to be a turning point, but I think he was in there.
Despite not getting the touchdown on that final play of the half, Kannapolis leads in the game over Lexington by a score of 9-0. It was expected to be a wide-open, high-scoring game, and so far the scoreboard isn't saying it, but statistically, A.L. Brown is putting up some yards. 217 total yards. 11 first downs for A.L. Brown compared to Lexington 6. And Lexington so far has hurt themselves. They had 1 turnover. They lost the ball a couple times on downs. In terms of possession, it's pretty much even. Passing, Lexington was only 2 for 7 with only 29 yards. And 3 for 7 for A.L. Brown for 72 yards. But so far the big stat, I think, is the rushing advantage that Kannapolis has over Lexington, Jim.
Well, and that rushing has come from the offensive line blocking because they've just had open holes, and the backs have hit those holes well and it's got out in the open field. And Kannapolis has got some quick running backs. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Once they get into the secondary, the linebackers and the corners and the safeties doing a good job to chase them down. So we're seeing tonight right now, Brian, that the offensive line from the Wonders are just taking control. The defense are doing a lot of traps, a lot of quick hits, and the aggression from Lexington's really hurting them right now. They're overrunning the plays. So what Gaster's going to have to do is to come back, slow down, change the scheme up a little bit, and take the plays on, take the blocks on, kind of control themselves, and stay under control, watch out for traps, and cover. Linebackers really have to cover well into the traps, and that's what's hurting right now. But Lexington's got a big play offense. They're very explosive, as we've seen, and they can put a lot of points in the board in a hurry.
As you can see by that picture, Kannapolis, the A.L. Brown team on the near side of the field, are already out on the field, and Lexington, is just as I speak, finally makes the appearance on the right side of the field, and they'll be coming into view very shortly. They're trying to gather themselves up in the end zone, and they're not going to have a lot of times on a cold night to come out and get loosened up again before the second half. I think that you probably knew, and I had the problems as a football player. The first couple plays of the second half, you're coldest time of the game because you just haven't been able to warm up like you did before a game.
Yeah. First, I think we talked about this earlier, Brian. The first few plays of the second half are the toughest time for a ball player because the adrenaline is not going like it is early in the game, and you're not warmed up well, and you're a little bit tired, and you're a little bit sore, and you've got to come back and start a new ball game. You got to start another half, and you've got to do it with the same intensity that you started the game. And this, maybe Lexington warmed up in the gym, and now they're running out here. They had to take a little extra time, and Coach Gaster felt that it was more important to keep his guys in and keep them warm longer. But if they came out cold, they're not having any time to adjust to this cold weather. It might hurt them early because this is a cold night, and it's not too cold to play football. It's a good football night, but your hands might be a little numb. You got to get used to this weather. You just don't walk out and put a football up in the air and catch it.
Coming out to do the captaining chores for Kannapolis this half is number 70, Charles Gray, 5'10", 230-pounder. And he's met at the middle of the field by number 22, Anthony Fuller, for Lexington. In terms of yardage, Fuller has 34 yards on 6 carries, so he's having a reasonably good night, but not the kind of night we saw last week against Concord when he scored 3 touchdowns and 150-some yards rushing.
No, this team tonight that they're playing, this L. Brown team, is a fired-up football team, and they're playing well. I think they match up with Lexington a little bit better than Concord did. Concord played tough, gutty ball game. I can't say enough. I was so impressed with how they played because they were really outmanned on the field, and they hung in there and played well. But this Kannapolis team, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, playing at home, and Concord was playing on the road, and I think they've got an advantage right now. And going into this second half, leading 9-0, and they've controlled the ball game, Brian. They've controlled the tempo, they've controlled offense, they've controlled defense. They're lucky, they're really unlucky they didn't get a touchdown here at the end of the first half. So it could easily be a 16-0 ball game. Lexington's really fortunate to be within a couple touchdowns.
Wonders defense has been playing just magnificently tonight. Edward Walker had a strong game, especially in the first quarter. Chad Blackwelder had an extremely strong second quarter. Even when he wasn't making the tackles, he was turning people inside, and that's what you got to do with a wishbone offense, is just keep them between the tackles. They're trying to get outside on you. That's not good.
Absolutely. You ever let a wishbone outside, you're going to be in for a long night, and I think that's something that Kannapolis has worked hard on, is keeping those running backs in between the hash marks.
Houston and Fuller are deep for the kickoff from Ben Johnson. Johnson again kicks it short, and it's received and stepped right on the line. Mojica Manuel caught the ball and steps out of bounds where he caught it at the 28-yard line. And that's where Lexington will have to start with the ball. So even after the short kick, not a bad job, for at least for Wonders' standpoint, because it could have been a whole lot worse, that short kick.
Absolutely. Well, he could have gone out of bounds, Brian, and brought it back and kicked it again. So Manuel would have been a much better serve to let it go and see what happens. At worst, they can end up with the ball on the 20. He didn't gain a whole lot and probably hurt him some.
They only had 10 men on the field for a moment. Rushing out late was Derek Barnes. Now here goes the wishbone. Bennett cuts outside the tackle, gets out to about the 40-yard line, and he pitched it late, and down it goes inside the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Fuller following on the play, gets the pitch late, and gets inside the 45 to the 43-yard line.
And that's the Lexington team that we saw so much last week. It was so dangerous, taking the ball, running that wishbone, and here you see it. There's a handoff. Runs it. Just to look at that run, quick late pitch, couldn't have been any better. Takes it down. Good tackle by Brown, but that's the way you run wishbone.
Bennett pitching the ball 10 yards downfield. Impressive. Simmons carries inside the 40-yard line down to about the 39-yard line. Edward Walker and Greg Jones combined on that tackle. It's going to be a 2nd down and 6.
A lot of teams, Brian, set up the pass with run, set up the run with the pass. I think Lexington sets up their inside runs with their outside runs, and their outside runs with their inside, because you can't keep everything under control at one time with this team.
Hand off to the second back through is Fuller. He's not going to get it. Number 65, Tony Jones, wraps him up and puts him down. Jones, 6'1", 213 pounds. Does a heck of a job. He's been playing a whale of a game so far tonight. And it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Tony Jones is the presence out there tonight. He's making himself known. He's having a good time. This is what he likes to do. He likes to play playoff football here in front of the hometown fans. He's getting some cheers.
to Simmons. He breaks through inside the 20, inside the 10, and he's caught. Does not get into the end zone. Finally caught up just inside the end zone. Tim Atwell, along with Reggie Wells, finally caught up with him, put him down on the 1 yard line. Here's the replay.
It looked like he was gone. Shoelace tackle there, keep him out of the end zone. But that's the thing we were talking about, Brian. The team can score at any moment.
First down and goal to go from the 2 yard line. Lexington almost automatic from this point throughout the season, but this time Rodney Simmons gets absolutely nowhere going through the middle of that Kannapolis defense. Joe Willis, 5'10", 239 senior, the big hit in the middle. It is going to be a second down and goal from the 2 yard line.
Good goal line defense at times. Simmons, I think, leading touchdown scorer for the Lexington team. They're going to put it in his hands in this situation most times. And in this case, he didn't put it across. Let's see what to do here.
A jump off the line of scrimmage a little bit quick. Jonathan Ritter getting a little bit anxious on the right side of the line, and they're going to bring him back in to mark off 5 yards. Second down and 7, and that's a big difference from second and goal from the 2.
That's going to change the whole complexion of this last few plays in the series, Brian. They can't afford to run dive plays now. They're going to have to play open field, and the defense can afford to play a little tighter, bring their linebackers up, play their corners tight, their safeties close, and get a lot more run support, and it's tough to score from this point in the field.
Bennett keeps it himself. Down short of the goal line, down to about the 1 yard line. Woo, Charles Gray catches up with him just before the end zone. Meanwhile, Edward Walker comes out of the game and he's holding his left arm kind of static. Coming off the field for Kannapolis, he's replaced quickly by Fred Carter, and we have a third down and 1 to go.
And Chris Bennett makes something out of nothing there. That's the mark of a good athlete, to take something where nothing's there and create possibilities, and that's what he just did.
And off to Simmons, he doesn't get in the end zone. Big defensive play. Joe Willis in there with Chad Blackwelder to keep him out of the end zone, and it's going to be a 4th down and goal from the 1 yard line.
Again, big defensive plays by the Wonders that time. We're going to look at the replay. Just a straight dive handoff right there. Nothing doing. Offensive line couldn't get any drive. Defense held, went under, didn't give up an inch. Stopped the ball there on the 1.5 yard line. Big play, big play.
The Kannapolis side of the field is getting up on their feet and cheering. And the last second pitch does not get in the end zone. They hold. Kannapolis is held up. Down at about the 1 yard line. Mike Morton makes a stop on the sophomore running back Antonio Houston. Ooh, that was close.
Big play. Quick pitch, a little behind him, but there's no question, Ryan, he wasn't close. They stopped him on the 1 yard line. And again, I think we talked about it earlier, you got to have a good pitch. You got to get the pitch out there where you run back and look ahead and pick his hole. The pitch was behind that time and didn't allow any time for the running back to find where he was going, and by the time he got his hand on the ball, defense was all over him.
The Brown offense has been bending so far in this ball game, but it hasn't broken yet. They still lead in the game 9-0. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Just a quick quarterback sneak by Blakeney, just to give him a little bit more room. Jumps out to about the 7 yard line. Winds up picking up 5 yards on a quarterback sneak.
And they just want to get something to get going out of their end zone, get it out to the 20 and start on their offense. And we'll see probably much the same thing here from the Wonders as we saw from the Yellow Jackets in the first half. They're going to try to base plays, quick handoffs over the middle, nothing fancy. Don't go for the throw right here. Let's get out where we've got some working on.
One running back set, 2 wideouts to the right side, and only 1 to the left. And Blakeney does another quarterback sneak and slips through just outside the 10 yard line. He's going to be short of the 1st down, bringing up a 3rd down and a long 2 yards. I'll make that a short 2 yards. But Blakeney almost looks like he's surprising the Lexington defense with the quarterback sneaks.
Oh, he did. There was nobody expecting him to take the ball. It's just a little delay, takes the snap, holds it for half a second, and scoots in behind the guard. Linebacker vacated the spot. He could have gotten the 1st down if his foot hadn't slipped.
Carter the fullback, Lipscomb playing the tailback position. And up to Lipscomb. He gets a big hole and barely gets out to the 1st down line. And I believe he has the 1st down. But we'll have to wait and see. The tackle made by Brian Ripple, number 54. And they do give them the first down. So Kannapolis comes up with a big first down on a 3rd down and 2 play.
Dangerous call right there, Brian. That was a play that took a little bit of time to develop, and it wasn't a quick hitter, which gives the defense time to adjust. They're really lucky that they got the first down that time. Lexington had a lot of men around the ball and got a hand on it, but didn't prevent the first down.
Straight eye formation with wide out to each side. Hand off to his fullback. Carter puts it on the turf, and Lexington recovers at the 19-yard line. Coming up, Ivan Davis, number 71, I believe, came up with the fumble recovery.
Yes, it is a fumble. It was out of his hands before he hit the ground. No question about it. Lexington picks it back up. Another big chance here for the Yellow Jackets.
It was number 40, Derek Cope, on the recovery. And it's going to be a first down for Lexington deep inside Kannapolis territory. And after the big goal line stand, the Kannapolis Wonder defense put back on their backs again. Bennett has trouble holding on to the ball, finally goes down, and there's going to be a penalty for a late hit. I don't think the Kannapolis fans are going to like that. Jermaine Rucker trying to go for the loose ball, but it was already in the hands of Bennett again, jumped in there. And I believe that's what it's going to be called. Personal foul, late hit. And then it's going to move it half the distance to the goal line. And Bennett had trouble holding that ball from the snap, as we're going to see right here.
Well, he tried to stick it in there for the handoff, and the back either wasn't ready for it or it wasn't a clean handoff, and it was bouncing around on the back right there. He did a good job, good hands to get his hands back on the ball, and just the aggressiveness of the Brown defense going for the loose ball, trying to get the ball back and get themselves out of a hole, cost them a penalty.
First down inside the 10-yard line. First down and goal.
It's a big test for Brown.
Excuse me, it's first down and a foot. A good situation for Lexington to be in, because with half the distance to the goal line, with the first down and half the distance, with the penalty going half the distance to the goal line, they just didn't quite have 10 yards to make the first down. So it's first down and about a foot. They're looking for the pass, and there it is, it's in their hands, and it's dropped. Chris Pompey had the ball in his hands. He couldn't run a slant in and put a pass in there nicer, and he just didn't get his hands on the ball the way he should have.
Brian, the replay's not going to change a thing. We're going to see right here. Good pass, and he's slant to the post, and in his hands. The weather can't cause that. That's just poor reception.
It looked like he got his hands crossed up a little bit. It's going to be the second down in the foot. Still a good position for Lexington to be in. And they're just going to go ahead and run it. The ball's on the turf as they hand it off to Simmons, and they're going to have to dig them out, and it's going to be first down for Lexington. And again, sloppy ball handling there, put the ball on the turf, and for a moment it looked like it could have been either way.
Well, let's go back to what Coach Jack Gaster told us before the games. Turnovers and penalties are going to decide the football game. So far tonight, that's been the story for Lexington. They've hurt themselves offensively and defensively.
First down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. They trail in the game 9-0. Just past the halfway point in the third quarter. The offensive line of Lexington jumps quickly. That looked like they were going to set up a pass play. They'll back them out to about the 10-yard line. First down and goal to go from the 10-yard line as they back them up a little bit.
Lexington just having a lot of trouble. I think, Brian, it looks to me like right now it's a little bit of nerves and a little bit of concentration. They're not used to being stopped like this. They're used to their offense rolling in pretty much like they want to. They're not used to having to fight this hard for yardage.
Simmons gets the handoff up the middle, has some room, gets inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. Grant Jones got him around the ankles to bring him down, number 88. Going back into the game was Edward Walker. Got himself a little bit of a rest. It looks like his arm's okay. Coming out of the game is Fred Carter for Kannapolis. Second down and goal from the 2. We're just at this point, just a few minutes ago, right here, and Lexington did not get into the end zone. And up to the second man, and again they stop the play before it goes, and you got to believe it's something against the offense as penalty markers fly. There it is. It's going to be a penalty against Lexington, an illegal procedure call, so they back them out another 5 yards. And it's second down and goal from the 7 this time.
They just want to get off. Lexington just wants to get off and get good blocks because Kannapolis has stopped them all night long. They've held up their offensive linemen. They've not gotten good drive blocks. They've not gotten downfield. they're so close to the goal line now, they feel like they've got to put something into the end zone, and it's costing them penalties.
Lexington decides they need to call timeout and take a look at it. The TV13 wishes to acknowledge that Gerald Moore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this week's game. Your nationwide insurance representative, Gerald Moore, can fill your family or business insurance needs. Nationwide is on your side. Contact Gerald Moore at 1811 South Main Street in Kannapolis.
Brian, we talked about the battle of the offenses, and then we mentioned again earlier, right now, Kannapolis is just controlling offensively and defensively what's going on down there. Lexington's got a strong offensive team. They've got good running backs. They've got a lot of quickness. And Brown's just shutting them down.
A big defensive game so far for A.L. Brown, I'll tell you. We had heard about how good of a defensive team they were, and we thought that'd be one of the keys to the game. But we never expected, at least I never expected, to have Lexington shut out to this point and playing as well as they play. Half a wishbone here. Simmons gets the handoff down to inside the one, touchdown! And Simmons finally gets into the end zone. Is banging around. When you give them that many plays inside the 10, they're going to get in the end zone eventually. And Lexington has its first points of the ball game.
Well, it was a big struggle that time for Lexington. They did put the ball in the end zone, but I know they're not happy with their performance, getting several penalties, fumbles, a couple of almost near fumbles down there, but putting it in the end zone is all that matters right now.
William Fulbright, the kicker, going for the extra point. A couple of the Brown players broke through the middle line, but they're not able to block it. It is good. And the score with 5:03 to go in the third quarter of play. The Kannapolis Wanderers 9 and Lexington 7. We'll be back in a moment. Lexington finally getting on the scoreboard. And now they're going to be teeing it up to try to hold A.L. Brown again. Let's take another look at the touchdown play.
Well, good blocking up front. Lexington's getting a little blocking here. Handoff to their first back through on the wishbone. He puts it in the end zone. But like we said, it was a struggle. It was a moral victory. They put points on the board, but they're not dominating right now.
Blackwelder was right there on the plane. He just didn't get inside enough. Just went right by him that time instead of making the big tackles like he has throughout the game. The kickoff is going deep. Lipscomb going to get the ball at about his 1 yard line. He's going to the right side and has lots of running room. Gets across the 20, outside the 30.
One man.
Gets hit again, and outside the 50-yard line. Finally put down by Majika Manuel. And I'll tell you, he had himself a good run back that time.
Well, William Fulbright didn't make the tackle, but he saved the touchdown. Deep kick, deepest kick we've seen tonight by either team. And you can see the blocking up front. He's got good blocking, no clips. Right here, he's broken. He's got the big one man, William Fulbright. If he had gotten by Fulbright, then the tackle would never been made by number 45, Manuel. But he did make the tackle, but still, 49-yard line going in.
Fulbright isn't your usual kicker. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. Michael Barnes gets the handoff, picks up about 5 yards on the play. Down inside the 44, Kannapolis starting this drive in excellent field position.
This is a big play for Kannapolis right here because they did a good job on defense. They held Lexington out of the end zone for several plays, but they gave up a touchdown. Right here now, they need to establish their dominance of this game. If they can put some more points on the board, keep Statesville down by more than a touchdown, it's going to take a lot of the wind out of their sails, and the Yellow Jackets are going to be hard-pressed to keep their spirits up at this point in the game late in the third quarter.
Blakeney going back to pass, has Allison open, but he underthrows him at the 33-yard line. Again, the zone defense leaving some big gaps for Kannapolis to throw in. There really wasn't anybody in Lexington covering on the play. The closest player to him was Jason Cope, number 40, the linebacker.
They're doing a lot better job pass blocking after that first series. They've not had a whole lot of trouble keeping the pass rush out of Blakeney's face, and he's getting plenty of time to throw the football.
3rd down and 5. Lipscomb, the one tailback, hits the ball on a slow developing play, and he fumbles the ball. And Lexington comes up with it. Oh my, a bad break for Kannapolis. Coming up with the recovery was Rick Terry at about midfield. Let's take another look at the play. It was not a good-looking play from its inception. It just didn't go anywhere as they ran the blitz right into it.
No, really, it was a good tackle that time by Lexington. Knocked the ball out of his hands. Getting the ball back on the 50-yard line here, and play could change.
Josh Harris, number 55, was the one who knocked it out of the hands. And right dead nuts on the 50-yard line, straight in front of us, Lexington takes over. Chris Bennett rolling out to his right, trying to get outside of Blackwelder, gets to the 45-yard line, thinks the better of it, goes out of bounds.
Well, the thing we didn't see on that play, Brian, we'd see the whole first half is containment. Kannapolis did not hold containment, and even though they did get Blackwelder out there, he was chasing from the outside, and Bennett was still turning the corner with good pursuit that time by the Wonders, kept him from gaining more than 5 yards.
Second down and 5 to go for Lexington. They go back to their wishbone formation. Bennett back to pass, looking for his wide receiver. He hits him. Chris Pompey gets inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. He drops the ball, but they're going to rule these down. Pompey makes the reception, picking up 18 yards on the play.
Well, Bennett found that seam again. That's the 3rd time he's thrown that pass. You're going to see on the replay. Quick hitting pass, a 3-step drop, and catches the tight end, cuts across on the slant in between the seams. They've been successful with that play tonight. They've not used it too much, just enough to keep it where it'll work for them without letting Kannapolis pick it up too early.
Half the wishbone formation again. Hand off to Simmons. Similar play for a touchdown, and he drops it. And it is recovered by Kannapolis. Coming up with the recovery, Edward Walker, number 45. Walker left the game a little bit earlier with an injury, but he's back in there and he gets the big turnover. Here's the replay of it.
It's a replay. Good hit, good solid hit that time by Kannapolis. Knocked it out of his hands, no problem. Brian didn't pick up the number of who made that second hit.
It was Chad Blackwelder. That's the same play that they scored the touchdown on, and Blackwelder got caught a little bit outside, but that time he got inside and made the big hit and got the turnover.
Smart play.
Pitch back to Lipscomb. Tries to get outside, is not going to get there, and down he goes. He was turned inside by number 54, Brian Ripple, and put down to the turf by Jason Cope, number 40. A loss of 4 yards on the play, second down and 14.
Good pursuit by Lexington this time. They feel they've got to make something happen right here. They're within 3 points. If they can close it down here and force a punt, they can get down and score, or at least a field goal. And going into the 4th quarter, it'll be a close football game.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first, make that the 3rd quarter of play. Kannapolis leading Lexington by just 2, 9-7. Blakeney fakes the play, and he's just going to go out of bounds. He had 2 receivers out in the pattern, and neither one of them was really open, so he had to do the smart thing and basically just take it out of bounds. Gains up about 2 yards on the play.
Well, Brian Ripple making good pursuit that time, coming number 54, coming in his down linebacker position. Ran Blakeney out of bounds. Didn't have a whole lot downfield, but he could have run the ball. That's when he's dangerous, as we said, running football.
3rd down and 12. Blakeney, 3 of 8 passing so far on the evening. About his average for the season. Going for his tight end, he hits him. It's a reception to Mike Morton. Morton gets out to about the 40-yard line. And a pickup of about 17 yards on the play and a first down for Kannapolis.
Well, we're going to see the replay. Mike Morton just made a great catch. Blakeney drops back, and they're just a little dump pass. He's wide open, and he knew he was going to get hit hard. There was no question. They're hard-hitting linebackers there, but he held on to the football and made that first down, kept the drive going.
Hand off to the fullback, Carter, and Carter breaks it open. He's inside the 40, inside the 30, and inside the 20, but he drops the ball, and it's picked up, and into the end zone he goes. Number 18, Gerald Allison, the wide receiver, scores a touchdown on a strange play for Kannapolis. A penalty marker is thrown as a little bit of a misconduct call will be made. What a play for A.L. Brown as they score a touchdown on a long one.
Well, Carter broke free through the middle in Division A, and number number 26 from Lexington, North Elam, had him run down, and they caused the fumble. And you figure any other time that'd be good, but downfield like that, ball bounces a strange way and goes Kannapolis tonight.
They're talking about exactly what to do with the penalty marker after the play. I didn't really see it, but they were looking at one of the Lexington players. Fred Carter carries it most of the way for the touchdown. Let's take another look at it. A 60-yard touchdown.
Nothing fancy, Brian. Just broke it off tackle, hit the middle, nobody touched it, and he got run down right there. He was running out of steam. It looked to me like the ball was down. The ground caused the fumble, but the referee was right on the play. He had a good angle of it, so evidently he knew exactly what was going on. And luckily for Brown, they had somebody downfield for him.
So Allison goes the last 7 yards of a 60-yard touchdown, but he gets credit for it. The extra point is just off it, barely good. And I tell you, you don't see an extra point look that poor and get over the goalpost very often.
It looked like one of my chip shots, Brian.
A.L. Brown extends their lead back up to 9, 16-7. We'll be back with the final minute of the third quarter right after this. Here we see it again. 60-yard play. Carter carries it the first 53-yard. Well, he carried about 40 yards and then fumbled it ahead. And the final 7 yards, and getting all the credit in the papers tomorrow, Daryl Allison carries it in.
And Brian, you were absolutely right. North Elam caught his arm, his ball carrying arm from behind, and stripped him of the ball and did a good job. Unfortunately, it didn't help him.
Unfortunately, I know all about that, trying to catch somebody back from behind, because I wasn't that good of a pass defender, but when somebody went over my head, I had the speed to catch up to him, and I did that several times when I was a football player. And again, a short kick by Ben Johnson, and again, catching the ball out of bounds. Now, that ball was caught out of bounds, but he was out of bounds, and that's going to be a penalty against Kannapolis.
The only thing I was seeing right there, Brian, was maybe he had 1 foot inbounds, so the referee was going to make an illegal catch, but evidently they feel that he was totally out of bounds when he caught the ball, so it would be a penalty and they'll back him up.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was cleanly out of bounds when he caught that ball, both feet out of bounds when the ball landed in his hand. Actually, he doesn't need to have both feet out of bounds. If 1 foot's out of bounds and 1 foot's in, the man's out of bounds, and that's what it is.
Right. But either way, we look at it, looking at the replay here, either way, he should have been aware of where he was on the field and not made the catch. That could have been really dangerous for them. I mean, you're behind by 9 points, they're kicking off, you want the ball as close to your end zone as possible. And if it's going out of bounds, you want to leave it and let it go out of bounds. Johnson lining up again for the kick, with the 5-yard penalty there on the 35.
And I tell you, they have shifted everybody over to the right side because he has put a couple balls near that sideline. And Manuel is close to the sideline. It's going to go over his head. And it's going to be received by Houston. And Houston gets across the 40. And he's down there. A nice tackle by Greg Jones, number 88, along with Roland Grant, number 89. And Lexington takes over there. And so far, I think that if it came down to the kicking game in the last moments, or even to overtime, I think that it's pretty clear that Lexington has the advantage with Fulbright.
Lexington's got the kicking game, but they've got to be able to use it. They got to put the kicker in position where he can help them, and tonight they've not done that.
They run the option to the right side. Bennett with the late tip again, and it's going to be fumbled. And Kannapolis gets it. On the recovery, Reggie Wells. He thought about running forward for a second, but he decided to jump on it when he couldn't quite get the handle on it. And for the first time in the last 2 weeks when we've seen Lexington, the pitch late just totally got blocked. And somebody played it. Somebody defended it.
Exactly. Look at this, like a basketball pass. You knock it down, and that's what he did. And right there, the ball should have, you just jump on the ball. You're up. You've got the ball in your territory. You don't want to run it to the end zone. You're not a back. You just want to lay on the ball. And they're lucky.
When you're Reggie Wells and you have the kind of punt returns that you have, and you want the hands on the ball because he can do it. He scored a couple touchdowns this season on punt returns. He thought he had a good shot at it. But when he couldn't get the handle, he did the smart thing and dropped on it.
Yeah, he's got to follow the ball down there.
Hand off to Carter, same play that broke it for the touchdown last time. Gains about 15 yards on the play inside the 20, and A.L. Brown has everything going their way with 18 seconds to go in the third quarter of play.
Carter's really impressive tonight. But again, you're going to look and see on the replay the line blocking he made. Look at the hole he had right there. Not even touched till he got 5 yards deep. Made his way down to about the 17-yard line.
They are going to let the clock run
out at the end of the third quarter of play. For Carter, he is now over the 100-yard mark with 101 yards on 10 carries. And a very impressive performance for him so far this evening. That is the end of the third quarter of play. A.L. Brown on the march again, and they lead it in the game 16-7. They're on the sidelines thinking over what his team can do. They already lead in the game by 9. Lexington, undefeated coming into this game with a 10-0 record. Looked very impressive last week against Concord in the first round of the playoffs. But if the Kannapolis Wonders have them down, and things are going their way.
Well, one thing we've not talked about tonight, Brian, is these two teams. Last year, the Lexington team was 2A, and the Kannapolis team was a 4A team, and they changed their classification this year, so they're both 3A. There's a discrepancy in the schools. Last year, this game would never even taken place.
Hand off to Lipscomb. Penalty marker thrown in the area that you might think is holding. Lipscomb picked up good yardage of about 8 on the play. What the Kannapolis players know what the call is, and they're already backing it up. It is a legal block, a crackback block on the play. So they bring him on back. I don't think there's any question. They keep talking to the Lexington captain, Josh Harris, about it, but I don't think that you, of course you take the penalty on the
Yeah, you've got to back him up away from the goal line. 15 yards. Can't turn that down.
So it's going to be a first down and 25 play. From the 38-yard line, they have to get down inside the 10. Make that the 33-yard line, they have to get inside the 10. But the way Kannapolis is playing, that first down and 25 may not be that big of a barrier.
Give it to Greg Carter. Let him go.
And that's exactly what they do when he breaks it into the secondary. Inside the 15, inside the 5, he's through the 5-yard line. He just got a hand on him by Alan DeJournay along with Sean Henderson, and they were just able to get him to take one step. And I'll tell you, he was just on the edge of that out-of-bounds line, but it was clearly out of bounds.
Well, we're going to see on the replay. He is out of bounds, but boy, it was close. Slapped his ankle out. There, just right, barely on the line.
A good mark by the official right there on the 5-yard line. But they do get the first down. First down and goal for A.L. Brown at the 5-yard line. Lipscomb gets the handoff, gets down to about the 2-yard line. Trying to go off left tackle. Tackled by Jason Coe. And the Wonders are threatening to put Lexington into a deep hole.
They're going to take their time again here. There's no rush. They've got second down and goal, and they've got the horses to put it in the end zone down here and put themselves up by 16 points.
And off to Lipscomb, and he gets straightened up and down he goes. Ripped down to the turf by Brian Ripple. And it's going to be third down and goal. They put the man in motion, Mike Morton, coming to the near side of the field, but it didn't help much. They found that one out. There's several plays from Lexington. And meanwhile, A.L. Brown calls a timeout to talk it over. TV 13 once again wants to welcome Jay Wally Sandwich Shop as a proud sponsor of this week's playoff game. Open at 5 o'clock every morning. Jay Wally's is just waiting for you with hearty breakfast, mouth-watering burgers, and of course, Jay Wally's world-renowned fresh donuts. Something good is always cooking at Jay Wally's, 1870 South Main Street in Kannapolis. Wonders fans obviously not knowing that Halloween was, 2 weeks ago? Make that 2.5 weeks ago.
Well, no, he did dress up for Halloween.
A lot of fans around the top of the stadium. Some of those fans that you're looking at are inside the stadium, and some of them are just outside the fence. There's nothing to keep fans from congregating up there and looking in and watching the football game. In fact, one of the most unusual things I've seen in a high school game across the way from us, there they are. They've built their own little platform in the backyard, a little bit of arrays. They've got lights up there saying, "Go Kannapolis." They are watching from somebody's backyard. Third and goal from the 3. Pitch back to Lipscomb. He cuts it in. The penalty marker is down. Lipscomb doesn't get into the end zone. A good tackle by Josh Harris, but we're going to have to wait and see what the penalty is. I don't think Kannapolis is going to like it, and they're not. They're going to back them up some more.
Tough call on a running play to get a hold like that, but the quickness of Lexington, I think, is what caused that penalty. They need to get somebody break free, Brian. And on the replay,
it's kind of a good news, bad news penalty. The bad news is that you're going to be backed up some yardage, but the good news is you get that down over again. That is one of the Kannapolis wonders. Pain going down on the field. It is a 10-yard penalty, so it's going to be third down and goal from the 12. Make it the 12-yard line that the ball is at. We'll be back to see what Kannapolis does on the third down and goal play in just a moment. Lipscomb coming off the field. He was the one who carried the ball for Kannapolis on the last play down at the goal line. And he took the big pop that has shaken him up quite a bit for nothing as they take it back for a holding call. That penalty has got to hurt. But again, they do get third down over again. And with Mo Blakeney as your quarterback, there's a lot of options that you can do. Fred Carter over the left side of the line. There's Blakeney going for Allison. Touchdown. He just flat out dropped the football. He had it. I think he started celebrating a little bit too soon.
Well called play. Allison's really hurting right now. He had that ball. That was a touchdown. That would have been the backbreaker.
Let's take another look at it.
Allison down here on the far left of your screen. He ran out of the picture. Look how open he is, Brian. I don't know what you could blame that on.
Ben Johnson setting up for a 29-yard field goal, and you got to believe this is stretching it for him. The kick is up, and it is good. He got it on a line drive. It is over the goalpost. And his second field goal, he has been good on his field goal kicks. His second one of the evening, and has now given the Wonders a lead of 19-7. 19-7, Kannapolis in front of Lexington. TV 13 would like to recognize Woodley's Funeral Home as a proud sponsor of this week's game. And what a game it's been. They've been serving our community since 1913. TV 13 is pleased to welcome them to our cable cast. Woodley's Funeral Home wants to wish our home team good luck. I'll tell you, you don't need good luck when they're playing the way they're playing.
Brian, I think that field goal kind of epitomizes the way Kannapolis has played tonight. They've done exactly what it takes to win. They've not been fancy, they've not been flashy, they've not done a whole lot more than they had to do, but they do just enough to win. That ball had just enough carry on to go through the goalpost, puts them up by 12 points. And this Brown team tonight is just playing good, solid defense. It's a game tonight of big plays and penalties. The big plays are coming from the green. The penalties, unfortunately for Lexington, are coming from the white.
But nonetheless, Lexington remains within 2 touchdowns, and that's a big point. So they score 2 touchdowns despite that field goal. They're still in position to win the ball game with extra points. His best kickoff of the night, and it's caught by Fuller. Fuller looks to the left, cuts it back, has some running room, gets out the 35-yard line, and gets hit, and hit hard. And Lexington will start with the ball there. Roland Grant on the tackle for Kannapolis with a big hit.
What a hit. What a hit that time.
I think with that kind of hit, that's the kind of hits that you hear the crowd go, ooh.
Everybody was kind of feeling that one.
And Lexington not in a place where they want to be, and that's catch-up football, because with the wishbone, it's the kind of one that you take the lead and you hold on to it. Looking downfield, and he overthrows his receiver. It's Chris Pompey, and there was lots, and I mean lots of coverage there for Kannapolis. Among the players there were Reggie Wells, along with number 20, Gary Elder.
Well, there was a lot of coverage down there, Brian, but Pompey's 6'4", And if Bennett can get that ball up high, there's nobody in the secondary for Kannapolis that can get up there with him. They can make the tackle once he catches the ball, but I think he can catch the ball in that situation.
Hand off to the second back, which is Antonio Houston. And Houston gets 4 yards before a couple of the Kannapolis players, including Mike Morton, straighten him up and stop him. 2nd down and 5. 9:42 to go in the ball game. The Wonders leading Lexington Yellow Jackets 19-7 here at Kannapolis High School. Ryan Gould giving you all the play-by-play action, along with my trusted companion, Chip Smith. Simmons gets the handoff up the middle, gets about 4 yards on the play. Wrapping around the ankles is Trevon Patterson. Patterson's playing a strong game tonight. 3rd down and 1. And this is the kind of thing that you like to see. Lexington likes to see them do. The thing on these 2 plays is gain, 4 yards or so. God, it does. That'll work well for them. Now, what they did at the end of the first half is they used up 7 minutes of the clock and didn't get into the end zone. And that's not something that they can have here to get back in the ball game. They need points and they need them back.
But they have put it in once. I think they've got some confidence from that, Brian.
Simmons gets the handoff again, and down he goes quickly. Greg Jones on the tackle. Hits him almost immediately, and it's going to be a 4th down and 1. Well, actually, they're going to measure it. And that is going to be within inches either. No, it's short.
It looks like the referee marked it, well, no, he put his foot down right where he hit the ball. He hit the ground and got pushed back a little bit, and they didn't know if they were going to give him that last bit of forward progress, but they sure have. This is going to be close, and we'll see what happens. I don't think he got it, Brian.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he did. The chain will stretch out to the 45-yard line, right on the line.
No. They turn it over.
And they turn it over on the loss of bounds. That was the 4th down play. And Kannapolis comes up big. They have the lead by 12. They have the football with 8:45 to go in the ball game.
Well, you're going to see a real conservative Kannapolis Wonder football team right now. They're going to hang on to it. They're going to put it down there and get a field goal out of it, or put it in the end zone and take as much time off the clock as possible.
And Fred Carter taking no chances. Never takes anything but 2 hands off the football. And that's what you're supposed to do there. Carter continuing to rack up yardages, especially behind the left side of the Kannapolis line.
And Carl Lipscomb's back in. Glad to see he's up and doing okay too, Ryan.
For Carter, 12 carries, 133 yards. Once again, thanks to Alan Shaver, our statistician, once again. Doing a heck of a job again. Takes it outside, gets inside the 30, tries to look for running room inside, doesn't find it, goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. A gain of 19 yards. Blakeney's longest run of the night.
That was a well-called play set up by the previous play to Carter. And we're going to look at the replay. A fake to Carter now, or fake into the line. Blakeney had no intention to hand the ball off. He was down the sidelines, holding it a little bit dangerously, like we talked about earlier, but there was nobody around him. So once he got close to being hit, he tucked it away a little bit better.
Hand off to Lipscomb, the tailback. He's into the secondary. Inside the 10, one man to beat. He brings him down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. Alan DeJournay was able to hit him hard enough. Didn't bring him down on the spot, but he wasn't able to get in the end zone. So Lipscomb gets it inside the 5-yard line. A pickup of 17 yards on the play.
And look at this. DeJournay didn't wrap him up. He just put his head down and tried to knock Lipscomb down. You're not going to knock a tough running back down with your shoulder. You're going to have to wrap him up. He could have scored easily that time had he not quite lost his balance.
Carter gets the handoff going up the middle. He's not going to get to the end zone. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is about all. And it's going to be 2nd down and goal from about the 3.5 yard line.
This is what they've done every time they've gotten down deep. They've tried to run Carter through the middle a couple of times, then they've gone out on the side. Or they didn't put a pass down here in the corner of the end zone. So if they run 2 to 4, they're going to run it between the tackles one more time, Brian. Then they'll open it up a little bit, which is good conservative football. Don't do anything you don't have to right now at this point in the game.
Blakeney on a broken play is running backwards. He's outside the 20, looking for a receiver. He has one in the corner of the end zone, but it's going to be out of bounds. That was clearly a broken play from the start. The pass was caught by Reggie Wells, but he was out of bounds. And it's going to be a 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line.
Well, let's look at it again here. He was under a lot of pressure immediately, and I thought right here he's going to get sacked for a loss, but he had a lot of presence of mind. And look at the arm he had out of bounds, but what an arm. Put it down in the end zone. Catchable. It's a catchable football.
Now, one thing about that play was that the offensive lineman, and it looked like he was looking to run outside, stayed behind the line of scrimmage, and he did have the opportunity to legally throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, it was a busted play, but it was a busted pass play, Brian.
Blakeney scrambling right, trying to dance his way in. He's not going to get there. 4th down and goal, this time from the 3, but you got to believe they're going for the field goal. The field goal will put a lot of pressure on Lexington, because not only will they have to, if the field goal is good, not only will they have to score 2 touchdowns, but at least one of the extra points will have to be a 2-point conversion just to tie, and the other one would have to be a kick. And it's right, this is an extra point kick. But the good news is that he's made both his field goals, but the bad news is both the extra point attempts have been botched. Ben Johnson, the kicker, kicks this one nice, and he is gaining a lot of confidence. That was easily his best kick of the night. Ben Johnson, the sophomore's 3rd field goal of the night. A.L. Brown leading Lexington 22-7. I said he botched 2 extra point attempts. I stand corrected. He only botched one of them, was no good. That was a bad snap. 22-7. A.L. Brown leading Lexington in what is going to be a game that has surprised a lot of people around there. And not so much that A.L. Brown's winning, but they've been doing it pretty handily so far.
That's going to be the surprise. We talked about this game before it came out, Brian, and we expected it to be a real close ball game with a lot of points put on the board. And Lexington's really just had a lot of problems. They've hurt themselves all night long.
Fuller drops the kickoff at the 12-yard line, trying to break it out to the right side. Now he breaks it back to the left, has some running room, cuts inside to the 30, and a lot of individual effort gets him all the way out to the 29-yard line. And a lot of effort just to get to the 29-yard line.
There was a lot of blocking going on out there tonight. He was working hard trying to get somewhere, and should run straight ahead, save some time.
And Lexington being forced into the position, we got to believe that they're going to have to put the ball up in the air a lot more than they want to, because they haven't been having enough success on the ground to keep it there.
But they've been successful. Overall, they've been successful in the air, Brian.
They run the option. Bennett trying to turn it inside, and the pursuit of Kannapolis is just outstanding. A lot of the green jerseys around him, so even if he gets away from one man, there's a couple other guys who are going to take a shot at him. And Chris Bennett is down on one knee. No, excuse me, that wasn't Bennett, that was Fuller, the halfback. And it's going to be a 2nd down and 10. Lexington does take the timeout at this point in time.
All right, let's go back to the passing game a little bit. Lexington has had the ball on the money most of the night. They just dropped it. So if they can hang on to the ball, they'll do well.
I want to stand corrected at that point in time because Fuller was hurt. They do not charge him with the timeout as long as he leaves the ball game, and that's why the coach is on the field to call him off and say, hey, we don't want to use the timeout. You got to come out for at least a play. Hand off to Simmons right up the middle, and they do gain 4 yards on the play. But again, that keeps the clock running, and if they want to eat up the clock, that's good. But if you want to come from behind for 15 points, that's not good.
That's not good.
Pitch back to Fuller, and Fuller does not get anywhere. A good job by Roland Grant fighting off the block of the lead blocker, Antonio Houston, and just stepped right up and slammed him down. A gain of about 2, but it's 4th down and 4, and Lexington is going without a huddle.
Chris Bennett did not do a good job that time with the pitch. There was no question. He pitched it off early. He had no pressure on him, and that's why the play didn't go anywhere.
4th down and 3. And he's back to pass, and the pressure's on, and he's thrown down. Trevon Patterson breaks through the right side of the Lexington line and gets the sack, a loss of about 12 yards. And not only is the sack, but Chris Bennett is hurt.
We're going to see the replay, Brian, but Trevon Patterson had just he had zeroed in on the quarterback that time, Bennett. And here you see him, he's wide open, and Bennett ducks his head, which is probably the worst thing he can do because Trevon Patterson's a big kid. He's coming in here at 220 pounds, and he took a lick. He got his bell rung right there.
I'll tell you, in this ball game, we've watched a lot of high school football this year. This has been one of the hardest hitting games we've seen all season, and that was one of the hardest hits of all. TV 13 once again wants to welcome J. Wally Sandwich Shop as a proud sponsor of this week's playoff game. Open at 5 every morning. J. Wally's is just waiting for you with hearty breakfast, mouth-watering burgers, and of course, J. Wally's world-renowned fresh donuts. Something good is always cooking at J. Wally's, 1870 South Main Street in Kannapolis. And Bennett remains on the field. There's the happy Kannapolis cheerleading squad. They haven't even gotten Bennett on his back yet. That's not a good sign. Patterson is 6 foot 220, and he hit Chris Bennett, and it is in fact Bennett's right arm. Bennett is getting up slowly. His left arm does seem to be hurt in some way. He's holding on. It's possibly his shoulder or his arm, and we won't really know until after the game. He took a hit, that's no doubt about it.
Brian, I think that might be the turning point of the game tonight because they depend on Chris Bennett for their offense.
We're going to take one more look at it. Patterson just flat out beats the block.
That's what it was. Patterson and one other player fell on his shoulder. Bennett was on his shoulder when he had about 400 pounds fall on him, so he could have been dislocated or separated his shoulder, but he had a lot of weight fall on him all at once, and that's a hard field down there. Not a lot of cushion.
So the 1st down and 10 after the loss of downs, Kannapolis takes over. Lipscomb, the halfback, gets the handoff, gets about 3 yards on the play. Rick Terry makes a tackle. Rick Terry, 6'3", 240, a big fella for only being a sophomore. Lexington will be back, there's no doubt about it. But it looks in this game that Kannapolis is going to take it. Up 22-7 with under 3.5 minutes to go. Mo Blakeney showing his experience, taking his time, getting his club up on the line of scrimmage to call the signals, just trying to eat up the clock. Lipscomb gets the handoff, has a big hole, penalty marker is down. Lipscomb inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line, but the penalty marker is down. And again, you got to believe it's some kind of blocking call against Kannapolis. Kannapolis players are even walking back, they expect it. It is holding against Kannapolis. And I tell you, another touchdown by Kannapolis. Well, anyway, they've got the game in hand as it is. I don't think they need another touchdown, but they sure would like to get it. Beautiful blocking again by that left side of the line.
Wide open, wasn't touched till he got down to about the 5-yard line, Brian. I really think that Kannapolis has got the game in hand now. They have a 15-point lead. Lexington would have to come back with 2 scores and at least 1 conversion with their second-string quarterback. Unless Bennett really is hurt, feels worse than he is hurt. It looked like he had a serious injury. He may come back, but that might be the death blow right now for Lexington.
Joe Willis and David Nichols, the left side of that Kannapolis line, have just been doing an outstanding job here in the second half of the play, opening up big holes for both running backs, Carter and Lipscomb. Lipscomb goes out the right side, and he breaks through again, down inside the 15-yard line to the 14, and he picks up the 1st down. But again, a home penalty marker down. This time it's at the far side of the field at about the 25-yard line. And another penalty against Kannapolis. They get the holding call. Let's take a look at the replay. This one was about 10 yards upfield from the line of scrimmage.
Strange place for a hold.
Had his hands on him a little bit, but I wouldn't say it was a hold.
That's a close call.
Second down and 20 from the 35-yard line.
And really, all this is serving to do is run the clock out, because it just gives Kannapolis another chance to run the ball, another chance to run the ball, another down.
Penalties against Lexington. That's their 9th one for 100 yards, and that has hurt them all night long. The clock again running. Blakeney looking to somebody on the sideline who's giving him the signal to go ahead and run it. Looking right at the head coach, Bruce Harden. Hand off to Carter. Carter runs it down to about the 30-yard line. Looks like they're jarring a little bit out there. Martin Medley was on the tackle, number 93, and it's going to be second down and about 16-yard line. And Lexington uses a timeout. They want to have at least some time left on the clock if they get a chance to get the ball again.
Yeah, they've got to use your timeouts now. There's not anything you want to hold back for, and Coach Gasser wants to preserve as much time as he can. Hopes he gets a turnover. He can get a turnover here. They might can turn it around quickly and get some scores.
TV 13 wishes to acknowledge the Gerald Moore Insurance Agency as a proud sponsor of this week's game. Your nationwide insurance representative, Gerald Moore, can fill your family or business insurance needs. Nationwide is on your side. Contact Gerald Moore at 1811 South Main Street in Kannapolis. So the third down and long play for Kannapolis. They've gotten this first down a couple times, and they've had them called back by penalties. Again, Blakeney looking to the sideline to the last possible second, even though the clock's not running. Fred Carter gets the handoff, and he isn't. Ball pops loose, and I believe Kannapolis still holds on to the football. It's going to be a 4th down play. And again, Lexington uses a timeout. The ball pops flat out. That could have been dangerous. Let's take another look at the replay, because that's the kind of play where the ball could have popped into one Lexington player's hands and run it all the way back.
Well, that's what Coach Gasser's looking for. Right there, it pops up out of his hands. There was one green shirt and 4 white shirts, and the green shirt comes up with it. But that's what they were hoping for, a turnover and something to happen big for them on 3rd down. But it didn't. It comes up, brings a 4th.
2 minutes, 5 seconds to go at Kannapolis High School. We'll be back with more. Kannapolis fans having a lot of fun on the sides here. The band playing the theme from Rocky as we speak, and earlier they were playing the da 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 hey, so they think it's over. The players got to believe it's over, but the game really isn't over. It's 4th down. Lexington won't get the ball back unless they pick up about 18 yards on the play and get the first down. Blakeney hands it off to Lipscomb. And Lipscomb tries to break it outside. He gets there, but he's going to be run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That's well short of the first down, although a nice pickup of about 11 yards for Lipscomb. 1:57 to go, and Lexington will get the ball back.
Now the question is, Brian, to see who comes in at quarterback for the Yellow Jackets tonight, or on this play.
On that carry, Lipscomb goes over the 100-yard mark on his 15th carry of the night. 107 yards on 15 carries. Meanwhile, his fullback, Fred Carter, 15 carries, 136 yards. And Michael Barnes, the sophomore, having a good night, only carried the ball 5 times and picked up 43 yards. In at quarterback, number 14, Herb Bostic, a sophomore. Bostic looking to pass, hits the tight end to Bingham. And Bingham dropped the ball eventually, and it's going to be a 2nd down and 10.
And that's been their problem all night long. They've dropped passes. The quarterbacks have been pretty accurate. The line's held off well, but the receivers have dropped the football after it's been in their hands.
Let's take a quick look at the replay. They've had those tight ends open all night long. Just thrown a little bit behind them. It looked like a pass that he should have caught. They're throwing it over the middle to Pompey, and he's not able to hold on to it. And there's a 3rd down and 10. And one thing hurting Lexington right now is the loss of their cornerback, Chris Bennett, injured on a 4th down sack. They're scared. Barnes coming into the game at wide receiver position. Up goes Pompey. Barnes splits out to the right side. Lexington, even late in the game, down by this money, stays in the wishbone formation. And Rodney Simmons picks up about 6 yards on the play. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run.
Lexington's down to 2 timeouts. I think if they were going to use one, they'd use it here, but
Well, I think they only have 1 timeout. They had to use 2 late in the Kannapolis series.
okay.
But they leave themselves in the 4th down and 5. No time to talk about it in the huddles. They come right up to the line of scrimmage with a sophomore quarterback. They pitch it back to Fuller, and Fuller gets the first down, but not by much. Gets across the 35-yard line. The clock stops with the chains. It's interesting to see if they use the timeout at this point in time, but you don't think they are with 1:16 left in the ballgame.
They're not giving up, Brian. They think they can get down there and put something on the board, try an onside kick.
Throwing the quick look in. The pass is incomplete to Derek Barnes. Good coverage by Jermaine Rucker, and Rucker had to watch out. He just put his hands up and stepped back. He didn't want anything looking like a pass interference call.
He knows that it's in the bag right now, the pass interference call. Although at that point it wouldn't have been very harmful. He doesn't want to take any chances right now. He wants to play next week.
Jermaine Rucker, a senior, 5'7", 152. And they are playing their defensive backs back deep, leaving some running room up the middle. But if they do things like that with that handoff to Anthony Fuller, they gain some yardage on it, 8 yards to be exact, a 3rd down and 2. But meanwhile, the clock continues to run. Derek Barnes, the wide receiver, has to go running out to the far side of the field. They hand it off to Fuller again. He gets out to about midfield, pick up a 6.
They're just running out the clock here, Brian.
45 seconds remaining in the ball game. Bostic backs the pass, throws it over the middle. A nice throw that was going right to Bingham, but Reggie Wells comes right over and knocks it away. Good defense by Wells, because that pass was on the money.
It was, and they've just not had any luck with their passing game tonight. They've been pretty accurate. The quarterback's been pretty accurate, but they've just not been able to hold on. Their backs, receivers have not been able to hold on to the ball.
Bostic is now 0 for 4 passing. Bennett was only 3 for 9. Be sure to stay here on TV 13. Central Cabarrus taking on Statesville, the powerful Statesville squad, the only team that has beaten Kannapolis this season. Bostic throws another pass. He gets hit as he throws. The pass goes incomplete. He's trying to hit his halfback, Anthony Fuller, up the left sideline, but just didn't have enough on it. 3rd down and 10. That Statesville game against Central Cabarrus should be a heck of a ball game.
Should be a good ball game. That Statesville's undefeated. Central's been beaten once. They should play each other tough tonight.
3rd down and 10.
Fuller gets the handoff, gets up to about the 41-yard line. He gets tackled. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run. 22 seconds, now 20 seconds to go in the ball game. That Statesville team is ranked number 2 in the state among the 3A teams. Misdirection in the backfield. They get the first down. They push it back. Going for it on 4th down and 2. Making the tackle is Johnny Eves. Now the clock stops with 2 seconds left. And the clock will not start until they set the chains. And it looks like this ball game is over. And in fact, it is over. The Kannapolis Wonders, well, it's not over. They still have to set the chains and get the clock running.
Yeah, they've got to run. Well, the referee's going to let it go, I think, Brian. They were stopping the clock, but they're going to let it run on down.
They are at that, and that is the end of the ball game. Final score at Kannapolis Memorial Stadium. It is A.L. Brown, Kannapolis, beating Lexington 22-7. We'll be back with more right after this. Kannapolis Kannapolis Wonders beating Lexington Yellow Jackets by a score of 22-7. An impressive performance for the Wonders. Lexington highly rated coming into this ball game. 400 total yards for the Wonders, and that has to please Bruce Harden. And he's down on the field with our Chip Smith.
Down with Coach Bruce Harden, the Brown Wonders coach. Great ball game tonight. Y'all played a really tough game against a good team from Lexington.
Thank you. I thought our defense did what they had to do tonight. They controlled the line of scrimmage and they kept pressure on that wishbone. And then when we got the ball, our offensive line just did a great job protecting Maurice and opened up some tremendous holes. So we've come a long way and really proud for the team and the players, and coach has done a good job. So this is a big moment for us.
Well, I'm sure it is. You got a great crowd out here tonight and they're really happy about it. You put Lexington in a hole early. They fumbled the ball out on their first play of the game, actually, and you took it down and scored, and then you put some more points in the morning and almost scored again into the first half. So it looked like you pretty much controlled the ball game on offense tonight.
We did. I thought penalties kind of destructed what we were trying to do, and we couldn't capitalize, and we would get there, and then all of a sudden we couldn't do anything. But the field goals and position really kept the pressure on them, so that was a big help to us, continuing putting a few points on the board each quarter.
Did you change your pass block? I noticed early in the game a couple of guys, Medley in particular, was giving you some trouble, but it looks like after the first couple series you took care of him and you didn't have a whole lot of trouble with the pass rush.
Well, they were big, tall people, and that makes it difficult, and I think we didn't make any changes or adjustments, but our guys just got a lot of confidence and were willing to do a good job and just made that second effort.
Do you change now that you're in the third round of the playoffs? And do you change your practice schedule, or how you do anything from here for the rest of the season, Coach?
No, sir. I think we're kind of programmed to doing things one particular way, and that's the way we'd like to continue to do it. And we've got great chemistry as a ball club and a lot of confidence in each other, and I'm really happy for them. And appreciate the support of all these fans out here.
Well, Coach, congratulations. I'm really happy to see you on. Good luck next week against whoever you may play, Statesville or Central. You're familiar with both teams, luckily, so I wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Brian.
Thank you.
Individually, you have to look at the Wonders defense and made the big plays. Chad Blackwelder among them, Edward Walker, another one. Tim Adwell made some big plays as well. They held Lexington, a powerful offensive unit, to just 246 yards. On offense, Fred Carter and Carl Lipscomb both over 100 yards with 15 carries. Carter had 136 yards, Lipscomb 107 yards. The entire TV13 crew would like to thank the excellent hospitality provided to us by the Kannapolis athletics staff. Be sure to stay with us on TV13 as the Central Cabarrus Statesville game comes up next, and the winner of this game, which of course was Kannapolis, will play the winner of that game. Once again, the final score of tonight's contest: the Wonders of Kannapolis 22, the Yellow Jackets of Lexington 7. Chip and I have certainly enjoyed bringing these playoff matches to you, and we want to wish all the remaining teams the best of luck. For Chip Smith down on the field and the entire production crew, I'm Brian Gould. So long from A.L. Brown High School.
Come to the big house, you must be defeated.